Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first annual My Favorite Things of 2025. I am your host, Calvzone, or Calvin, whatever you prefer to call me tonight. And I hope you have a nice beverage, a nice selection of food, and you're nice and settled in, because do we have a show for you tonight? We do indeed. Okay, folks, before we get started with the awards, though, I do want to do a special shout-out to some of my favorite viewers that I have had the privilege of entertaining this year, that have really spurred me on, that have been there, that have shown up, that have commented, liked, shown up, hanged out, just had a good time with me. Obviously, there are more than I could list, but these are the first couple that came to mind when I wanted to make up this show. I didn't put your full names in here just so I didn't dox you, but I hopefully there's enough on here for y'all to know that I am shouting you out. Brita, Stick, Frubby, Snugbugs, our Baggage, and Mr. Travis. You've all been fantastic. I have loved having you around, keeping me company. Y'all been there when I needed you, giving me nice words, encouragement, providing some insight to stuff that I needed. And I just really wanted to give y'all a shout out for this year. Obviously, there is more. I'm leaving off some people because they're family and friends, and I don't need to shout those people out. And obviously, there are some more because I could not list you all off because we've gained over 500 subscribers this year, which is insane. Now, without further ado, let's get into the first award. The first category of tonight is my top songs of 2025. Now, obviously, there are only 5 spots, and if you've seen the Spotify Wrapped, you know I had quite a bit of music in there. And you will not be shocked by who won tonight's category. But without further ado, let's get started. At 5th place is Love in a Bottle by Keith David. Does it surprise anyone that I'm a Keith David fan? No, sir. Love in a Bottle is a fantastic song, and even though I have not watched the newest season of Hazbin Hotel, this song is in many of my playlists. On to the next one. Expedition 33, something we will see quite a bit throughout this show. Specifically, the song Lumière, which also means light in French. French? In French, if you can believe it. Fantastic song. I love it. It's in a lot of my playlist. I honestly would have had more Claire Obscure Expedition 33 songs in my list. However, I had not beaten the game until literally this month, so I avoided songs just in case they contain spoilers. I'm sure you can all understand, but that is where Expedition 33 sits, in the 4th slot. Onwards to number 3. Now, you may not recognize this image. This is the image that is used for the song on Spotify. This is a song called Hero by John Michael Howell. Phenomenal song, great for if you're thinking about D&D things. I cannot recommend this artist enough. He's got several songs, Medusa, obviously there's Hero, and a few others that I'm now blanking on. But he's a phenomenal artist. A lot of his songs are very good for D&D thoughts. And I recently discovered him this month, or I think last month actually, and have been very, very inspired by his work. Now, on to number 2. Eternity by Alex Warren. Another fantastic song for those of you who like D&D thoughts. Also, just a very good song in general. Very sad, very somber. Works very well for writing really sad backstories. I actually used this to formulate basically an entire character and his backstory for it. It was very impactful, a very good song, one that I like listening to even when I'm in a good mood, but especially when I'm in a sad mood. Because who doesn't like listening to good, sad music every now and then? Phenomenal. It really deserves the 2nd place. Now, for our first one, I mentioned to you that I had cheated in this category, and I do hope you can forgive me, but I'm sure you're going to also agree with me that this year, Epic the Musical, I included every single album that Jorge has put out. Phenomenal. I discovered this year. You talk about good D&D songs, there's a whole 7 albums, or 9 albums, and they are all bangers. Specifically, my favorite is the Underworld Saga. Again, another depressing group of songs that works very well for a sad backstory for a D&D character. Yes, you could tell that a lot of my songs were for sad D&D character backstories. Does that surprise anyone? I don't think so. But this has been the Music Awards. Now we're moving on to the next one. I hope you're staying tuned. Moving on to our next category. It is my top shows of 2025. Now, it is no surprise to anyone that I'm a very big Twitch viewer and YouTube watcher. I don't usually catch a lot of shows and movies, as it were, unless they're very, very memeable, and my friends are going to see them, and I go with them. However, I have found 5 shows that I am willing to talk about that I really enjoyed this year, and a lot of them, to nobody's surprise, are anime. My honorable mention is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I watched this show. It's been out for a long time, but I recently went and watched the entire series to its full from start to finish. Phenomenal anime. It's only like 50-something episodes, and it is a great watch. It is a great watch. I cannot recommend it enough, and it would be on this list probably if it had come out this year. But without further ado, let's move on to the actual category. In number 5, we have Solo Leveling. I know this one's a very controversial anime. I know a lot of people have very varied opinions on this, but I genuinely enjoyed it. The art was pretty nice. I enjoyed a nice fight. The other animes on this list are more kind of story-based, but Solo Leveling was cool, okay? Argue all you want, it was a cool anime that has a very overpowered protagonist who can summon shades of things he's slain, and it's pretty cool. On to number 4. Gachi Akuda. Season 1 has about, I think, in the teen episodes, 16 plus. I haven't actually caught all the way up with it because I figured it ended at 12 and then it kept going and I haven't got back into it. But really cool art style, really cool world premise. I enjoy a couple of the action scenes. There's guns, there's these giant trash beasts, and the premise of the show is that if you care about an item enough, it can become powerful. And I'm sure I butchered that. On to number 3. The Mighty 9. If you've watched my latest videos, you will know I have been ranting and raving about the Mighty 9. I watched the first, I'm a big fan of Critical Role. I watched the season 1 and season 2 of the actual tabletop game all the way through. And so of course, the Mighty 9 show comes out on Amazon. I have to check it out. It has been such a good watch. Instead of like having to bog yourself, or not bog, but having to like get through hundreds of hours of content, you can instead watch this show on Amazon, and it does the D&D show justice. It is actually so good. It is so nice to see something I care about actually get made into a show. I'm sure that the Critical Role people are loving it. I'm having an absolute blast. It's not even done yet. I cannot wait to keep watching. And I was actually looking at the Vox Machina show because I was like, have I watched it all? I didn't watch the last 3 episodes of the latest season, so that's also on my docket to watch. But yeah, a phenomenal D&D show. If anybody is interested and you want to watch this, maybe to dip your toe to see if you would like campaign 2, I feel like it is a fair check-in to see what the story is about, because it covers quite a bit. And yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. On to number 2. Dandadan Season 2. It took me a second. I couldn't find a lot of good images for Dandadan Season 2. A very, very good season. I'm a big Dandadan enjoyer. I like it. I like the fact that it can mash sci-fi, fantasy. It has so many different kind of powers scaling and like different abilities. And this season, it's been a bit since I watched it, but I remember being very, very enthralled and enjoying it quite a lot. This season also had a ton of emotional like stuff happening that I don't want to spoil. Really don't want to spoil any of it really, but really very, very good anime season this year. Very excited to see season 3, which I'm sure we won't get for a good bit. I mean, hey, better than One Punch Man season 3. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Now, on to my number 1 show this year. To Be Hero X, another anime. Could you be surprised? This show rocks, guys. I was very hesitant on watching it, okay? I won't lie, I wasn't very sold on it when I first started hearing about it, and I was like, meh. I was like, Dandadan's rocking, and I actually found it through a podcast called Otaku's Anonymous, I think. I know, right? What a podcast name. But I love both the hosts of that podcast, and they talked about it enough that I was like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. And it's not like your traditional anime. This show is broken up into like sets of episodes that follow different characters that all are in like kind of one cohesive story. It has its high points and low points, but it was cool enough that I was like, yeah, I ended that season being like, I want more. I actually want more. And it it was a shock because I haven't watched this before. I had no prior knowledge of this besides the podcasters talking about it. So I think that's why I'm so like very interested in it and seeing where it goes compared to Dandadan, which I already kind of follow and like have been like interested in. But yeah, that is our top shows, my top shows of 2025. Now we're going to be moving into the game section. I'm gonna give you a second if you want to go get some more water, get some food. I'm gonna do a nice little jump cut here. I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've gotten this far, I appreciate all your support. And without further ado, let's move on to, I think it's my top games of 2025 that didn't come out in 2025. Okay, everybody. I'll see you in the next category. And I was correct. This is my top games that I've played this year that didn't release in 2025. And I was actually looking back through my 2024 to look for like an honorable mention or like what was my last year favorite game. My Steam library didn't have many releases in 2024, so I had to assume I must have been playing the crap out of some World of Warcraft. So, obviously, I give a shout out to World of Warcraft. I'm a big World of Warcraft guy. I love World of Warcraft. It does not appear anywhere on this thing on the list besides here. It will be on next year's show, if they could land a landing. But we'll see. Without further ado, let's get into the rankings. Number 5, we have Warhammer 40k Darktide. If you've been watching me for any number of months this year, I've been actually playing the crap out of Darktide. Been enjoying it. It's a Vermintide game, kind of Left 4 Dead if I wanted to give a more general, broad example. But it is Left 4 Dead in space on a hive city. You can play as an Ogryn, a Psyker, a Veteran, and there are actually 2 new classes. There's the Arbitrator and the Hiver, and there's another class that I am missing that I cannot remember. But it is a phenomenal game. I cannot play it for long because I have to click so often, but it has been one of the better downtime games with friends. It would have made my top 20 multiplayer games of 2025 if it had come out in 2025, but it did not. So it did not make that list, so I had to put it on here because really good time. Really, really good time. On to our next one, number 4, Omori. Yes, I forgot the category. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yes, Omori is on here. If you've been following the channel, I started this year by playing through Omori all the way to the end. I don't know what it is about indie games that like indie games are so special. I feel like they could take risks. They can tell stories that usually wouldn't appear in mainstream media. And Omori is one of those. Omori, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a very, very deep story. The gameplay is fun and engaging, and I'm sure if you like emotional stories, you like good stories, you like stories that will have you questioning things and asking questions, and even if you just enjoy having a good time, this game has multiple endings that vary drastically, and I won't lie, it definitely caught me off guard. This is one of the few games that subverted my expectations, and I'm finding that this happens a lot in indie games. In mainstream games, the only mainstream game I can think of that caught me off guard this year was Expedition 33. But that's because it threw such a meta curveball that I could not have seen coming. There's like no way I could have seen that coming. But Omori and a few more indie games that I won't mention are really good. Like the indie games are really catching me off guard. And really just eye-opening. It's eye-opening how good indie games are. This game came out in 2020, and I only just now got to it this year after a bunch of people have been like, you should play it, and I think a friend of mine bought it, and I went, let's actually play it, and I do not regret it. It was a phenomenal experience. I highly recommend this if anybody wants to check out an emotional roller coaster. On to number 3. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Yeah, I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, but this game was very, very fun. I had a blast It's just a nice, good RPG to play this year. It was actually so good that I bought the next part of it. I haven't really touched that one though. That's why it's not on the list. But I enjoyed playing Cloud and Tifa, and I forget the other characters. But just a good RPG. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think it's more of like a, if I'm not mistaken, it was I did a lot of the side quests, but at some points it feels very like you're just doing the main quest and that's about it. Not as crazy of a big of a game as I was thinking it would be. But it was still pretty cool. A lot of running, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. And I enjoy all the characters quite a bit. Very good game. On to number 2. Lies of P. Now, I know it says Overture. The DLC I think did come out this year, which I think is why I played it. Actually, the reason I played this is because it's one of the few Dark Souls games, or the Souls-like games, that came out with a difficulty slider. For someone like me who's not good at games, I'm not here saying, I'm the best, I'm gonna sit here. I could sit there and ram my head against a wall until I break it. However, I have too many games to play. And I like playing Souls games because the art style is cool. Typically the story, while vague, is still dope. I like seeing the world and the art and the monsters. I like seeing it all. It's like going through a museum and looking at cool works of art. And then when I'm not good enough for those games, it sucks, because then the only way I can really get through it to like actually play it, like Elden Ring's different from like normal Souls games. I'm not good at Souls games. Go watch my Dark Souls 1 playthrough and you'll understand, okay? I know some people are like, you just gotta love the pain. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I'm not one of those people the games are not meant for me. They're meant for the people that like a challenge. I can handle a challenge when I'm looking for one, but in these games, I really just want to, see the cool bosses. I just want to walk through the game. And Lies of P put this difficulty slider in, and there was a debate that that was very online of like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Everybody was yapping about it back and forth. In my piece, I think as long as the difficulty slider doesn't affect the normal difficulty they intended for the game to be, I think I don't think there's a negative. Like, obviously, if you make this game easier and then put a difficulty slider in that like changes stuff, it's kind of bad, right? You should be able to play the original difficulty on like as hard as they intended it to be. But I do enjoy having a difficulty slider for people like me who just want to walk through the game, kind of breeze through it. And, if I want to play with a challenge, I just up the difficulty and then get my butt clapped. Because that did happen. I won't lie. I definitely played on the normal difficulty for quite a bit of this. And I think that there's a church part, okay? There's a part where you got to parkour up a church, okay? 1, not good at parkour. 2, there's enemies that knock you off the parkour. And it was at that point when I lowered the difficulty, and I don't think I went back. Do I regret it? Not really, because I still put about 30 hours into the game. And I had an absolute blast. The storytelling in Lies of P is phenomenal. It's got a great story. The combat feels awesome. And I think that's why it stands out. It's one of my favorite Souls games. Like, I really like Bloodborne's art style, but I really couldn't get past Bloodstar Beast. I think I had a friend that I had to call in a friend who was better at the game to kill Bloodstar Beast back in the day. And I can't remember fighting any bosses prior to that or after that. Like I said, me being bad at these games keep me from experiencing just the world and the art and stuff, which really sucks. But when you give me a difficulty slider that lets people that are bad at games like me, they can experience like what the creators wanted you to see, like all the effort people put into making these landscapes look good, the detail on the bosses. I mean, that final boss of Overture is crazy. It's a crazy boss fight, and there's no way I would have cleared that. there's no way. There's no way. Without dying over 100 times, and I think I killed it in probably my 3rd or 5th one, with the difficulty on the lowest. I think it's called like Dreamer Butterfly or something. And I got to see the ending of that story, and it was a great story. It's a great game to experience. I highly recommend it, even if to people who aren't good at Souls-likes. You can just turn the difficulty down, and then eventually, even if you are dying a lot, you will eventually just start outscaling the mobs. So you can still get through. I didn't have to outscale them because I'm not that bad. I just don't like to sit there and be like, oh, okay, gotta go again. Okay, gotta go again. Oh, let me run all the way back. I like to fight a boss 1 or 2 or 3 times. Like the 1, 2, 3. If like fighting them 1 to 3 times, I'm a-okay with that because that's cool, right? Like I don't mind losing, but it's when it's a brick wall that I'm like, oh. Like Malenia, you know. But at least is it Malenia? Malenia. It's whatever the Elden Ring boss is that does the like, she flies up in the sky and then she slams down on the ground and does a flurry of attacks that just eviscerates you and she life steals off of it. I know she's like at an end point, right? She's not blocking anything, but those kinds of bosses where I just cannot beat them. I just couldn't. Like I even brought in my little brother who's really good at Souls games and we just could not get that done. We could not beat her no matter how hard we try. I think that's the only boss in Elden Ring that I could not kill. And you may be like, oh, what about the final boss in the DLC of Elden Ring? He offed himself for us to win. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get back on track. I have ADHD. For those who don't know, I will ramble from time to time. I've also forgot what number we were on. I think this was either 3 or 2. So, let's move on to the next one. Oh, that's right. It's number 1. It's Deadlock. I know, people. You hear me talk about it. Deadlock makes me a worse person. That is not to say it's a bad game by any means. There's part of me that when I was in high school, there was a game called Paragon, okay? Third person MOBA, loved it. It was phenomenal. It was one of the kind of foundational games for my friend group that we would all get together and play. And I have great memories on MOBAs. Being competitive, the boys getting together, like us snapping at each other occasionally, getting mad, flaming people. It's fun, okay? It's fun. It's fun to be mad and be evil sometimes, okay? It's just I had to be honest with myself. I was like, I'm playing this game and I'm becoming a League of Legends player. I could feel it welling inside me. The more I played, the more I became this guy is playing much worse than me. Why is he in my rank? But this is it's a great MOBA. It is a phenomenal experience. The game's not out yet. This is a MOBA made by Valve. And it's very fun. It's very fun. It is the most fun I've had on a MOBA in a long time. Like I used to play League, but League never really had that spark that I feel like Paragon had for me. This one also doesn't really it doesn't hit it in as much as I would love it to, because it doesn't really have like melee characters. I mean, it has melee characters, but they're not really melee characters. So in this game, everybody has guns. There's no like you can run up and punch people. But that's not your like M1. You're not M1ing people with punches in like Paragon and stuff where like you'd run up as like Sevarog and beat them with your hammer, or Terra when you would hit them with your axe, or Chimera where you would hit them with your like dual wielding, right? Everybody has a gun. Everybody has abilities. There is melee in the game, but it's parryable. Which I know, very weird. It is a complex mechanic, okay? I say complex because I'm bad at it and I get parried all the time because I like heavy attacking. But it's a phenomenal game. I enjoy it. It's a great game with my friends. And spoiler alert, this won't be the first time you see this on a category list. Because it's to be announced. It doesn't have a date. I can throw it wherever I want it to be. So, yeah, that's my number 1 of games I've played this year that didn't come out this year. Because theoretically, it didn't come out this year. It's not out yet. But yeah, thank you all. We're going to be moving on to my top multiplayer games of 2025. So please stay tuned. I hope you're enjoying the show so far. Without further ado, let me kick you over to the next Calvzone. Hello, everybody. It's me, Calvzone. Welcome to my top multiplayer games of 2025. Mario is on here. None of the games I have listed are Mario-esque games. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not a Nintendo guy, but I needed a multiplayer game, and I was like, Mario Party, obviously. But yeah, these are games that came out in 2025 that also have multiplayer that I played with my friends. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into number 5, shall we? Schedule 1. Do you like drugs? Do you like dealing drugs? Do you like shooting cops in game? Well, boy, do I have a game for you. Schedule 1. You grow drugs, you make meth, you make cocaine, and you peddle it on the streets to these poor schmucks at the city that are in the city you live in. All the drugs have wacky effects like making them glow purple, making their eyes glow, making them grow big. I think some of them like actually make them pass out. And we cooked meth. I played Breaking Bad with my boys, and we were cooking. We were cooking good stuff. We had people slinging, we had people growing, and it was a phenomenal time. And I don't really got much else to say about it. It is just a good game. It's still in early access, I think. I don't think it's fully out, but it came into early access this year that you could play it. And yeah, I had a blast playing it. I even played it a lot solo. But yeah, let's move on to number 4. Repo. Another one of these. There's a term coming out nowadays. It's called friend slop, and it kind of involves games like these. I think that friend slop has a negative connotation to it. But these types of games are they're just awesome. They're just a good time. Repo is a lot like Lethal Company. You play little robots. The gimmick of this one is you play little robots and your head does the South Park Canadian thing, which is hilarious. And some of the monsters are like audio responsive. Your whole gimmick is you're going in on like buildings, trying to pull stuff out for money, and then you can buy guns. In this one, you can actually hurt the monsters, like unlike Lethal Company, where like you can grab some of them and just slam them against the ceiling if you have enough people. And I played this with a lot of my friends early in this year. I've not played it a lot later in the year, but this was pretty good. It was a pretty good time. It's nice to have a Lethal Company-esque game come across the table once a year. It's nice to get the boys together, have some goofy haha hee ha moments, and just have a general good time. And Repo was that this year, and I had a blast with it. And yeah, if you want to check it out, Repo, pretty good game. On to our number 3, Abiotic Factor, a nice survival horror game. This is what if you were playing an SCP game, and you were an unfortunate person that got stuck in the facility when it got put in lockdown. That is Abiotic Factor. A phenomenal experience. It is very cool. It's a nice, unique perspective on the survival genre, the survival crafting genre. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I put over, I think, 30 or 40 hours, and I was still only about halfway through the game. Keep in mind, I'm a bit tedious. I'm a bit like, I gotta get my base moved and stuff, but very cool. It has aliens, SCPs, all sorts of things. If you like SCP, if you like survival crafting games, if you like games that they're even like, so you can go into different worlds that have different monsters. Like there's one with specifically this monster here, and I think his whole gimmick is like you can't kill him, and so if you're running, he'll just pick you up and just juice you like a lemon. But you kill monsters, you can eat them, you can kill robots, harvest their parts. There are some mercenaries in this place that for some reason you have to deal with. It's very cool. It's a very cool survival crafting game, and I think it's the only survival crafting game that appeared on my list this year. And it's a good reason. It's a good game. There's a reason it's in my number 3 slot. And honestly, it probably would have been higher had it not been for these next 2. Or it would have been, because the next 2 are the only 2 that beat it. Without further ado, let's move on to number 2, shall we? Deadlock. I told you it would show back up. What more can I say about Deadlock? You know, it's a good game, guys. It's a good game. It makes me a worse person. It's like crack, guys, you know. Sure it's bad for you. Sure it makes you bad for everybody else. But God, is it fun? No, I'm just kidding. Please do not do crack. I'm not endorsing crack. It's just a funny analogy. Yeah, I enjoy Deadlock quite a bit. I would be remiss to not put this on the list. I put over 100 hours in it in a month and a half. To tell you if that tells you anything about me. it took up quite a bit of my Steam rewind. Like, it was this game, I found it in November, okay? My friends got me on it in November. It was my top played game on Steam this year, ever. Like, just this year, I played it for a month and a half. My top game on Steam this year. I mean, it's crazy, and that's Deadlock for you. Now, moving on to number 1. Battlefield 6, baby. You know it. You know I had to put Battlefield 6 on here. I tried to get it in the Game Awards. It didn't win as much as I wanted it to, but Battlefield 6, baby. Battlefield is back. It's good. I enjoyed it. It farmed me some nice shorts, and I had a good time on it. And it was good with the boys. They didn't play it as much as I did. In this game, it rocks by yourself. Like, it's a good game by yourself, but it is elevated when you have the boys playing with you. When you have a squad of people you can talk to, it makes it a just exponentially better experience. Like, it's crazy. It's like a multiplicative. The more friends you add, the more fun it gets. But it's still good solo. But yeah, this game rocked as a multiplayer game. Was an absolute amazing time. And I look forward to Battlefield. I look forward to Battlefield 7. I hope Call of Duty burns. And that's it, guys. Next on the list, my top games of 2025 that came out in 2025. What's going to be number 1, guys? Well, you'll have to stay tuned to find out. And I'm going to pass you over to the next Calvzone. Okay, everybody. Who cares about the other Calvzones, right? This is what you're here for. This is what everybody's been waiting for. What is my top game of 2025? I'm a gamer extraordinaire. I'm in the top percentages of Steam, actually. After going back and looking at it in my Steam review, I was like, oh my god, I'm in the bottom part of Steam. I'm in the top. I'm near the top. I'm in the upper echelon of gamers. And obviously, my opinion is the right opinion. And so you're wondering, what is my top game of this year? Obviously, it's got to be between Expedition 33 and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. But which one is going to come out on top? Well, I'm going to keep you in suspense and let's just skip forward about 5 minutes. So let's start with number 5. Avowed. A lot of people had very mixed opinions to this game. This is made by Obsidian, who also made Outer World 2. It shows that they released 2 games in the same year, and you can tell the production quality of one suffered for the other. This game I felt was interesting. It's set in the Pillars of Eternity world. I enjoyed it. I feel like it could have been a better experience. I'm a big RPG guy, so every game on here I'm pretty sure is an RPG for my top games. But Avowed was special. I think I recorded the entire playthrough on the channel. It was one of the few games I think I beat on the channel this year. And I had an absolute great experience. I think it falls short in the ending. I don't think the ending landed as good. The combat's a little janky. Everything about the game is a little janky. Even down to the companions are a bit rough. But that's not to say I didn't have a good time, because I wouldn't have beat it if I didn't enjoy it. I hope that I would love to see more games set in the Pillars of Eternity world, even if it's set in the third person like this one was. I hope they can capitalize on it. I hope they can do better. Because while it was rough, I could see the diamond in the rough. I could see them fixing this up and coming on the next rotation, coming on to another third person Pillars of Eternity game. It could be good. It could be real good. It could be something special. And I have faith in Obsidian. I'm a big Obsidian guy. So, yeah, Avowed, pretty good. Pretty good. On to number 4. Dispatch. You know it was going to show up here. You had to. I'm big. I mean, as much as I mentioned Critical Role in the past, I mean, like, who would I be if I didn't bring up the game that was also kind of just filled to the brim with Critical Role members? Dispatch is a Telltale-esque superhero dispatch game, kind of produced by Critical Role. You follow Robert, who's the guy in the center. Fun fact: neither one of these people I think appear in the game at all. But it's a great experience. It has been so long since I've had a good Telltale game, and this game, while it's not made by Telltale, I just keep referring it to Telltale because it's very Telltale-esque. I guess it's like a visual. Would it categorize as a visual novel? I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. But Dispatch was great. I like games with good stories. This one had a pretty good story. it nearly got me. It almost got me to cry at one point. I won't lie. And there's a friend who likes to say the quote that nearly made me cry, and he thinks it's funny. And one day I'm gonna punch him in the face. No, but he keeps saying it, and every time he says it, I vividly can picture this one scene that came from this game that nearly had me bawling. I almost cried, like I almost shed actual tears. It's a very good game. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and I recommend it. If you like Telltale games, I'm sure you will enjoy this game quite a bit. The cast of characters is great. The choices, I feel like, do kind of matter somewhat. And it doesn't have as many endings as I feel like it could have had. But I hope we get it. I would love a Dispatch too, but I don't think we'll get one. Rumor has it, rumors being rumors, I think the people that are making made Dispatch might be working on a Critical Role game. I have set in that universe. Don't know how that would play, who would be playing in that world, but could be interesting. I'm here for it because Dispatch was pretty good. On to my number 3, Outer Worlds 2, baby. I may not have beat it, and I told you it wouldn't really change where it sat on the totem pole, because we all know it's my 1 and 2. There was no way that this was creeping into it, but the dialogue in this game is the best dialogue I have had in it's pretty peak, guys. It constantly has me laughing. You can do an entire I talk to people route. I have made more than 3 bosses stand down by just criticizing them, just being like, "Are you sure you're that smart? Are you sure you want to do this? Your buddy said you suck." And it's phenomenal. It is so good. It is so good. In most RPGs, you go a dialogue route. It's my speech is 20. I click the speech 20. Yo, stop it. The guy stops. In this one, it's a back and forth. It's an argument. You're tearing this man apart, piece by piece, argument by argument. You're going, your pants suck. Your shirt's terrible. Your face, ugly. You're just ripping this man. You're ripping people down from their foundations. You're tearing them apart like you're a velociraptor, and they're a nice big juicy piece of steak. It's so much fun. It is such a good time in Outer Worlds 2, and there's a reason I'm gonna finish it on the channel. It's because I'm enjoying it quite a bit. If you watch me, 90% of the time I have a smile on my face. I'm having such a good time, and not even to mention how good the companions are. The gunplay, all right, okay, I'm not saying that because I have bad aim or anything, guys, but, it's all right. I've not built a single combat stat, guys. I have 1 in my, guns and 1 in my, melee. I suck at fighting, but God, is it worth it to have these dialogue options. It is so good, and also, they have this flaw system that is just the best of the best. I think I got a perk last time I was playing, where I reload before my clip empties. Now, I have a perk where my clip is 50% bigger. But if I let my clip empty before I reload it, I get a negative to my damage. There's one where if you stare at the sun, you can get cataracts and you can take that as a flaw, and it just makes you go blind, basically. I recently got a helmet in the game that made my graphics turn into a 1990s 8-bit game. There is so much in this game that is it's just great. The developers talked about, the flaws, you don't have to take them unless you take the flaw that makes you take the flaws. So you can purposely bone your playthrough by taking a flaw that just makes you unplayable. I have a flaw where anytime I crouch, my knees pop, which means if I try to go in stealth and someone's right beside me that I'm crouching down my side, they'll hear my knees pop and they'll know where I am. And it also happens when I stand back up, my knees pop. It's just it's so good. They're it's so much fun to just ooh, this flaw, it's really bad, but it's funny, and you take it. And obviously they have drawbacks, right? Or they have tit for tat. The bad knees ones, your knees pop when you stand up or crouch down. But I think it makes me move faster while I'm crouched. There's just so many of those. I've taken so many of those. There's also one called Kleptomania, where if you steal too much stuff, eventually your character will just randomly steal items that you're looking at. I don't have that one, because that one would suck, because I can imagine you're talking to a shopkeep, you look down to see what he's selling, and your guy's just that's mine now. And the shopkeep goes, "Did you just steal that?" And you go, "No." "No, I didn't. What are you talking about?" Oh, but I've delayed enough. My vocal cords are dying. It's time to get into the top 2, guys, and decide what's going to be my number 1 game of the year. Without further ado, let me introduce you to number 33. Expedition 33, guys. So, where to begin? This will be spoilers. I'm going to talk spoilers. A phenomenal game. A phenomenal, emotionally charged game. This game made me nearly cry 2 or 3 times. The combat's unique. The story, I could not have told you the story was going to end how it was going to end. I could not like, this isn't one of those games where I could be like, if I had saw this game, right, and I'd been like, oh, this is going to happen, oh, this is going to happen, oh, this is going to happen, I would have been wrong. There is a meta story that takes place in this game that you do not see coming. I did not see coming. It blindsided me, okay? Caught me completely off guard. Caught me lacking. The end of Act 1 devastated me. Absolutely destroyed me. The end of the game nearly got me to cry, man. And it has 2 different endings, and I've not gone back to see the other one. This is a one-of-a-kind game. Like, hands down. And it is a phenomenal experience. There's a reason it won, like, more awards than Baldur's Gate did at the Game Awards. There's a reason it's many people's game of the year. It's a lot of people's just games of their, like, it's their favorite game ever made. And it's understandable. I understand why this game is so high on everybody's list. I enjoyed it. This is like a 97 out of 100. It's phenomenal, and I could blaze it for another hour if my vocal cords allowed it. Because I enjoyed it. It was a phenomenal experience, and one I will treasure deeply, and one that just now I'm talking about it, I'm kind of getting teary-eyed. Just phenomenal. Just a phenomenal game overall. If you haven't played it, don't watch a playthrough. Please go play it yourself. It can get a bit rough. Some of the side bosses, like one-tapping you and stuff. Just grind. Just grind and get a little ahead. There are builds. I didn't do a meta build. I did my own build. And I went after I purposely didn't watch any playthroughs. So for like the entire year, I had to duck spoilers, duck the Twitter feeds that just come on my feed. I was having to not watch people that I would like to watch, like CohhCarnage play it. And it was worth it. It was worth all the ducking and dodging to be able to experience this game my way. To experience the game from my perspective, me alone in my room, lights off, experiencing this story. And it was an absolute blast. An absolute blast. And yeah. That's Clair Obscura Expedition 33 in my number 2, which does mean my game of the year is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. This game rocks, guys. I have bought this game for more than 3, like, I've bought this game for 2 people already, and I will continue to buy it. It's one of these games, you know how I talked about how I'm bad at Souls-like, okay? This game, you suck. You play as Henry, you are bad at fighting. You suck at fighting. By the end of the game, though, I'm fighting 10 plus people, holding my own, feeling like a Giga Chad. The story's phenomenal, the gameplay rocks, and it's a nice world that you could just get immersed into. It's got so many mechanics, from like you're looking nice so that people treat you better, the criminal system, and don't even get me started on the DLCs. It's just much more my speed. The only reason it beat Expedition 33 is because it's a fantasy night game, and because it rocked. It was dang near about as good as Expedition 33. I say dang near as good. It was better for me. For me personally. Like, there's a reason it didn't win a lot of awards, and I feel like that's because it is a rough stone for some people to take in. It's a rough game. A lot of people can't get over that initial threshold of how difficult the game is. And some mechanics are like, it kind of drives you crazy, like the alchemy system where you have to actually manually brew potions. I thought that was sick. It's fun. I like being a little witch at the night, and I'm like, I gotta brew some shaving potions. 2 of this, boil it, grind this one up, pour it in there, blah, 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 blah. Violet. Like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed it a lot. Not even to mention the story. My voice is going out. But if you want to see my final thoughts on the game, I do have a video up on the channel. And you can watch me finish the game. And it would do more justice than I could right now. But yeah, my favorite game of the year, 2025, is KCD2. And it is a phenomenal game. A phenomenal game. Cannot recommend it enough. And, well, guys, I think that's it. That is our show. I'd like to pass it back to me and the booth. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. I know it's a bit scuffed. But if it wasn't scuffed, it wouldn't be a Calvzone production. Thank you all so much for being just awesome viewers, for just getting me as far as we've done this year. I started this year at 40 subs. I've gained over 500 of them, and I like to thank everybody that's joined me for this journey. This was a year. I set out for 5 goals. I only got 3 of them, but the main thing is I set out to stream 14 times or something. I forget the main goals I did this year, but I wanted to upload a video every year. I wanted to be consistent. It was a challenge to be consistent, to pursue the thing I wanted to do, which was make content. I wanted to do YouTube and just see what happened, Obviously, I set out to get 1,000 subs. We didn't get that, okay? And sure, maybe a little bummed. But I'm going to be honest, I'm not that bummed. I'm so happy, so just overjoyed I've gotten as far as I've done. Because I know I didn't really put my best foot forward for several months. I had a rough patch, as we all do. And I look forward to just hitting the ground running next year. We're going to be doing playthroughs. I'm going to be playing the crap out of games. I'm going to have my daily zones. We're going to have streams. Man, just thank you guys so much. You guys rock. I have a blast doing this. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it. And all your comments, all your oh yeah, just hanging out with me when I live stream just makes it all worth it. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in 2026. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.